We all know it takes a lot of sacrifice to be a professional athlete, and that is especially true when it comes to eating habits. In order to stay at peak physical performance, many of the NBA's best players hire private chefs and private nutritionists to maximize their abilities on the court. We've all seen the stories about players eating chicken and pasta and limiting sugars, but what is it actually like to eat like an NBA player? The NBA and its players had a lot of dietary challenges this past season once it entered the bubble in Orlando. Obviously, the players were not allowed off-site, which limited their food options, and the meals that first arrived during quarantine were not great. The menu sounds appetizing, with a salad featuring fresh garden greens, arugula, watermelon, pickled red onions, goat cheese, and a raspberry vinaigrette, a caprese salad, grilled chicken, fish, parmesan polenta, pasta with vegetarian bolognese and roasted vegetables. However, it all came in individual packages like a meal you're served on an airplane, so the optics were not great. Of course, once quarantine was over, teams were able to cater meals for their players to eat together, and Disney opened up many of the restaurants on site for teams to use. The NBA even brought in a master chef who was expected to cook for Team USA at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo to organize the meals for the players in Orlando. So while the original meals did not look great, the players were still well fed in the bubble once quarantine was over. The transition from a college lifestyle to the professional mindset can be tough for so many players. Where you might have been able to get away with some fast food in college, that type of meal won't fly in the NBA, especially as your body matures. Caris LeVert learned that the hard way as he made the switch from Michigan to the Brooklyn Nets. LeVert told GQ about his diet in 2019. "I wasn't really very educated on what makes up a healthy diet. In college, I would eat a lot of Five Guys and burgers. Everybody eats differently, but that's not the best for your digestive system. And I've learned that over the years. Now I stay away from pork, beef, and things like that. I stick to chicken a couple times a week, and I eat a lot of fish and veggies. I don't really like fruit, so I drink a lot of smoothies to get my fruit intake up." Of course, everyone has their favorite cheat item, and for LeVert, it's chocolate chip cookies. The Nets guard says it's one of the few sugary items he adds to his diet during the season. "I can't go too long without having one. They've got to be homemade, straight out of the oven. I don't like the store-bought stuff. They need to be crispy on the outside, soft in the middle." A popular cheat meal throughout the entire NBA is the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which has become a pregame staple across the league. It all started in December 2007 when an anonymous Boston Celtics player said he was craving a PB&J during a pregame workout. Kevin Garnett at the time thought it was a great idea, and the Celtics strength coach whipped up 2 sandwiches. Garnett played well that night, and the rest, as they say, is history. Soon, word of the Celtics pregame meal got around the league, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich became a fixture in NBA locker room pregames. The sandwiches even caused a revolt on the Golden State team plane during the Warriors' historic 73-win season. The team's new director of sports performance barred the sandwiches from being served on the post-game flight, angering the players. Interim coach Luke Walton eventually made a larger scene of the issue with the flight attendants on the charter plane until he had to call in Steph Curry. The nutritionist eventually relented, and the sandwiches returned to the team plane and the locker room. Everyone agrees that perhaps the PB&J isn't the best pregame or postgame meal with all the sugars from the jelly and peanut butter. But as one nutritionist told ESPN when they reported on the PB&J addiction in the NBA, even if we argue that physiologically the PB&J isn't the best pregame meal, that's only true if you think psychology doesn't impact physiology. And we know it does. Your thoughts about a food will actually help to shape how your body reacts to that food. Another popular go-to for NBA players is Taco Tuesday, popularized by LeBron James in Instagram videos prior to the 2019-20 season. He even filed to trademark the term, which was denied by the US Patent Office. The rest of James' diet is a bit of a mystery because it's a topic he hasn't spent a lot of time discussing with the media. We know that he slimmed down significantly in 2014, and all LeBron had to say on the subject was that, "I had no sugars, no dairy, I had no carbs. All I ate was meat, fish, veggies, and fruit. That's it, for 67 straight days." We know the superstar clearly eats well, and he's mentioned that he enjoys eating chicken breast as his pregame meal. One other part of his diet we learned is just how seriously he focused on what he eats during the postseason. In a video on his Uninterrupted platform, James talked about how he changes his diet for the playoffs. "The thing that I started cutting down is the sugars. When it comes to the playoffs, it kind of slows down the process of recovery. Throughout the regular season, it's okay to have a little bit of it, but in the postseason, optimal recovery. Whoever can recover the fastest from game to game is going to put themselves in position to be successful the next game. So the sugars I kind of cut out, but the carbs I kind of ramp up. Because you're losing so many calories, you're burning so many calories, burning all your energy throughout those games. So I kind of go heavy on the carbs because it gives you energy. It's worked for me." The difference between the off-season and in-season eating is also very important for NBA players. The most change in a player's body comes during those times when he isn't in the middle of a season, which is why you hear so often about players losing or gaining weight in order to improve performance in October. A notable example is Enes Kanter, who dropped 51 pounds between his first and second years in the league. After hearing Kanter explain his old diet to reporters before the 2012-13 season, it makes complete sense how a change to seafood and salad slimmed him down so much. First, my breakfast. I was eating like 6 eggs, omelet with 6 eggs, 7 or 8 pancakes with sugar, whipped cream, everything. Then a breakfast burrito. That was just my breakfast. Then I came to practice and my lunch was just like pasta, chicken alfredo or whatever, and then a burger and an appetizer. Dessert? No. Dessert was at dinner time. Dinner time I ate another burger, a big meal again, and a dessert. That old diet is actually similar to what Karl Anthony Towns eats during the off-season. According to a podcast he did with JJ Redick in 2018, Towns eats 2 breakfasts most days. One before he has a workout or practice, and one after he's completed that activity. The 2 meals are very similar as both contain 5 pancakes. KAT prefers chocolate chip, so a true man of the common folk. And 24 ounces of water, but they differ in how much fruit Towns eats.
Are you a business owner looking to stand out? Let your brand shine, literally, with a custom neon sign from Glow Neo, transforming your logo into a vibrant LED masterpiece that grabs attention day or night. Whether it's a storefront, office, or event space, neon signage sets you apart from the competition. Plus, with our free design preview and fast turnaround, it's never been easier. Ready to light up your business? Visit glowneo.com and go to the Business Neons page and fill out the form. Get started today.
He'll eat 3 cups of fruit before his workout and half that amount afterwards. For lunch, he'll have some grilled chicken breast with 4 cups of rice and 4 cups of vegetables. Then repeat that for dinner. He told Redick, "Your body is a Ferrari. You gotta fill it with premium gas. I gotta take care of my body. I gotta understand how it feels and how to attack it and how to make it feel better." That is very true for off-season eating habits, but during the season, the rules are a little more relaxed for most NBA players. These athletes spend so much time at their team facility either practicing or playing games that the diet doesn't necessarily need to be as strict as an off-season regimen. Prior to last season, Chris Paul told the Oklahoma City Thunder website, "It's funny, you actually have to eat somewhat better in the off-season than you have to do in-season, especially as you get older. In-season, you're playing so much, you're running, you're burning those calories. In the off-season is when you really need to dial in on your diet because you're not getting that cardio." As players age, there's an added importance on diet and nutrition, which is how players like Vince Carter can play in 4 different decades throughout his NBA career. In 2017, Carter explained to GQ about the changes he made in his diet in order to keep himself physically fit enough to continue to compete on a daily basis in the NBA at 40 years old. "I try to eat lots of vegetables and greens. I like foods that fuel. I'm a sweater, so I prefer pasta for my pregame meals most of the time. I don't drink soda because I lose so much fluid when I play that I need to replenish. I don't really eat as much fried food as I would have when I was younger because my body can't shed it as fast. I'm able to have more bad days than the average older guy with just the way my body works, but I don't take advantage of that. I know I can get away with bad days, but I don't do it all the time. For me, playing in this league and playing a lot of minutes, I make sure I have the energy foods that kind of help me perform. I don't really eat pork as much. There's no particular reason, I just stay away from it. I'm just smart about what I eat and the times I eat." Kobe Bryant even had to learn that lesson before the 2012-13 season when he made significant changes to his diet. He started to eat far less sweets and other fast food and began to eat more lean proteins and vegetables with his meals. It resulted in a 16-pound weight loss, and Bryant set the NBA record for players older than 34 with 10 straight 30-point games. It was the final great season in Kobe's career as he averaged 27.3 points and played in 78 games before tearing his Achilles. When discussing his change in nutrition, Bryant said those types of switches are always the hardest to make for professional athletes. Diet is always the hardest thing. We're accustomed to eating what we want to eat whenever we want to eat it. You become comfortable with that. A change in that is a change in your lifestyle. That's been the most difficult. Most changes in diet are optional and are a personal choice made to increase performance by that little bit. Everyone knows the stories about Derrick Rose's addiction to sugar and how it nearly sidelined him in the national championship game. But Dwight Howard's case was actually worse than Rose, who simply had a little stomachache. In early 2013, many in Howard's orbit were concerned about his sugar intake as he had been eating roughly 2 dozen chocolate bars worth of sugar every day for almost a decade. His performance on the court had deteriorated as well because he started feeling tingling in his legs and his fingers, causing him to play slower and drop more passes thrown to him. The Lakers' strength and conditioning coach at the time suspected Howard's sugar consumption was causing a nerve dysfunction called dysesthesia, which normally appears in pre-diabetic patients. Once Howard dropped sugar from his diet, his play play improved dramatically. After the All-Star break that season, Howard tallied 1.8 more rebounds, 2.1 more points, and 2.5 more minutes per game than the first half of the season. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.